JD, we've gone down here 3-2 to Slough at home in the final home game of the season. Give us your thoughts on that one.
Conceding 3 at home is not ideal, or not good enough, should we say. It's probably a better statement to make. I think we've defended our box pretty poorly today. The goals we've conceded, I think that we can prevent. They've had 2 good finishes on the edge of the box, so obviously those guys will go away with individual strikes, which is fair enough. But I think the first goal we've conceded has been a defensive mistake, and then we've not defended a throw situation here, and again a far side on the left hand side there. So it's you've got to have a look when you're defending like that. You're not going to win games of football. We've scored 2, which is pleasing. We've created other chances to potentially score more, but Slough deserved their win. There's no qualms from us. I think any team coming here today, if we're going to defend like that, then we're not going to win football matches. So I think that's the nuts and bolts of the game. If we defend better, we give ourselves a better chance of winning, but we haven't. So yeah, disappointing.
Obviously Nathan opened the score in a couple of minutes in a great instinctive finish from him at the near post. You must be delighted for him to get a goal.
Great goal, a really good goal, a good build up, got the ball down the left. Alex done really well to kind of pick him out instead of just kind of flashing that ball across the box. He's a bit of a cutback with it. Nath, really good finish. So yeah, that was pleasing. Scored another goal from set piece. That was good. So yeah, really pleased with the first goal. And when you score the first one, you think you try and build a bit of momentum. But we gave away. They missed a really good chance just before they scored, and they then obviously scored the goal through our poor defending. So when you go and score so early, you just want to take momentum into the game and really put the foot down. And we're at home and go and get after them a little bit. But we didn't do that because after scoring that good goal, we like I say, we haven't defended too well.
Goal again conceded just after the half. It's been a bit of a stories this season, sort of just before the half and just after we've conceded. Something to look at for next year?
Yeah, I think spot on. Yeah, really poor in terms of straight after the first half. Yeah, it's hard to put your finger on it. I don't think it's we definitely have to look at it. I think there's a couple of things that we've already done analysis on a couple of things this year. I think that's now that we've conceded 70 goals. That ain't good enough. We can't. I'm sounding a bit negative here because we've had a really good season and where we've finished and what we've done this year. I think we would have. I think everyone would have taken. I know we've kind of repeated that point, but we have to start planning for next year in terms of what we're going to do and how we're going to be better. We have to improve our home form. We haven't, and that has got nothing to do with. That's just us as a management team and players. That's got nothing to do with anyone else. And conceding too many goals. Well, we've got to tighten up, definitely. That's as a collective unit, and I think you're right. I think you're spot on. I think the timings of goals, especially after the half time, if you look back, there's at least kind of a good 5 or 6 where we conceded very early after the second half. So it's something we need to address. Can't really put my finger on it now how we do it, but it's something definitely we can reflect on.
One for the summer, that
definitely.
And then Mitch Travis has given us a bit of hope late on. It's a brilliant header from a set piece. I think it was announced as Taylor, but it's definitely Mitch's goal. Another great header.
Yeah, good header. Mitch now has put himself on 8 or 9 goals, I think. So pleased for him. He didn't start today because he's just carrying a little bit of a knock. He's played the last 2 with carrying a bit of an injury, but yeah, he did that well. So if you look at the 2 goals, good build up to the left for the first one, and we scored a corner. So those little bits we're happy with, really, in terms of how we scored those 2 goals, even though I think we could have scored a couple more with some of the chances we created. But yeah, so pleased for Mitch with the second goal.
Welcome back another couple of players today. I know it's near the end of the season, but it must be good to be getting a lot of people back to full fitness ahead of the summer.
Yeah, so Lenchi coming today, Gary coming today. Gary went out obviously to get some fitness and some games because when he come back from his illness and injury kind of a couple of months ago, he was struggling with his fitness, so he's gone away and done that. So it's pleasing obviously to get him in today. Lenchi obviously has been out of a hamstring. I don't think he's played since Hornchurch away, so that's a good kind of 6 weeks, I think, since we played them. So it's good to have him. We've now got up to a squad of 20. The reason why we got up to a squad of 20 is because obviously we had to get some players in. We had that big backlog of games where we went to Saturday, Tuesday for the 5-6 week period, and we looked really, really fatigued and we looked like we were struggling a little bit. So it's pleasing to have those guys. It's come right. Obviously, as the season's going to be finished now, so let's train on Thursday and let's get all the guys in and then let's see what we can present to Dorking on Saturday.
You mentioned there about the home form this year not necessarily being as good as it has been in previous years, which I guess is understandable given the step, but it's probably still not as good as you want.
Yeah.
Supporters have stuck with us all season. They've been fantastic over this bank holiday weekend. Amazing support at Hemel, and today, just a word for them.
Unbelievable. Like the home attendances have been really, really good. They've stuck by us. We have had some difficult times this year, which we probably thought of, and we've had some defeats here, which some of the performances have been below par. There's no getting away from that. But what they've done, they've still come. They're still having conversations with myself and the players and stuff, and still being really positive. The stuff last week with the walk and stuff and the support at Hemel was just outstanding. It kind of just gives you an indication of how big the club is, and we can still go on and get a bigger fan base and get the guys come to support us. How supporters come to support us will be obviously by us putting in some good performances and getting some positive results. So and I think they've seen the boys on large parts this year have represented the club extremely well, and they're putting some good performances. I think I looked at it. We've played 52 competitive games. It's a lot of fixtures with the FA Cup run and the FA Trophy, and combined with extra games in the league. And there's some fans there, they've come to every game and they've supported us all the way. So it is a huge thank you to them. Please come to Dorking next week. We're going to need your support. It's going to be a very difficult game for us, and we think it'll be a big crowd there. So if we can get as many as you can to Dorking, that'll be great. And yeah, thank you again from me and Mus for your support.
And then just a quick one on Dorking. Obviously, they've still got something to play for, both potentially places in the playoffs, and I think they've still got an outside shot at the title. Just give us your thoughts on that one.
Yeah, difficult game, obviously, with who they are and being a full-time team and the players they've got available to them. However, I said it before, you do play the top 6 and 7, and I think you do see the gap. But we have come into this league to play teams like Dorking. And I don't mean that to be disrespectful, but it's ever so hard to get here. These are the games we go and embrace. These are the games we go away. I mean, just thinking off the top of my head, we've gone to Torquay, obviously picked up a positive result. We've gone to Maidstone, picked up a positive result. Western, so we've gone to kind of the boys, if you like, that are up there, and we're capable of putting in a performance and getting a result. I understand there's nothing to play for us, and I don't know how many league positions we can jump up or down with it, but we owe it to the fans and the club to put in a form. And let's be honest, I actually watched some of the highlights from last week against Hampton. A player scored 3 goals in 7 minutes. That's the kind of individual quality they have. So yeah, we're going to train Thursday in prep for that game. Yeah, and let's make sure we put in a decent performance.
Thanks, JD, and speak again Saturday.